Guys, it's just a lightweight day for me today. I've got sprints coming up tomorrow, which is my intense day. So today we're just going to mobilize and structurally integrate, everything, get everything flowing on the proper joints and whatnot. So today's just going to be about mobility, refinement, movement refinement, making sure that it's kind of like a PCC or the pre-check that airplanes do before they take off. They have a guy on the ground with cones. Let me see if your flaps work. Let me see if your tail works. Turn your blinkers on. Fucking, okay, everything works. Good to go. Go down, taxi down the runway, go. So it's just kind of based on that. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm doing with this kettlebell here is I'm really just accepting load into my tissues. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys profile here. All I'm going to do is pull the slack out, just barely pull it off the ground, but I'm not going anywhere with it. And then from here, I'm just going to make sure that my scaps are tight, unround my back, sit back into my butt. Now my hips have got it. Now it's just, my arms are just free dangling, but it's all this weight is loaded into my hips and my knees. And now I'm just going to make sure that the hinge works. Does the hinge work? Hamstring goes. Okay, cool. So right here seems to get a little tight, so I'm going to push the weight forward. I'm going to push my butt backward. I'm going to try and localize that weight load into that sticky point, and I'm going to take it deeper. And now here, so where I was just going through a concentric hinge, now I'm going through concentric and eccentric, but I'm not fully extending. The reason I'm doing here is I want to make sure that my pelvis is rotating through its full transition as I transition through each level of my hip stack here. And I'm noticing in myself as I go through this that when I get into this bottom loaded forward fold, that my right leg takes all the load and my left leg does almost nothing. So we're just gonna sit and wiggle. See, this hip really doesn't want to go that way. I can go this way, no problem. It really doesn't want to go that way. So that's probably where I'm stuck. Getting nice and limber today, in spite of the temperature. So then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next movement pattern. So what I'm doing on the light bar here, it's just my little Walmart bar and my little Joe Weider plates. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to take my hands all the way out. I'm going to do a snatch, grip, deadlift, but the weight's not high enough to give a fuck about. What I'm looking for is as I come up, does my low back round, or can my core keep in a nice tight zipped up unit and pick it up? I'm looking for, do I shrug the bar, or do I allow my shoulder girdle to sit back, open up, nice big chest, sit back, pull together, kind of bending the bar around my hip like a hula hoop from the shoulder girdle. Elbows coming and turning, that comes from the shoulder girdle slide. Or am I just shrugging it up and then lifting with my neck? That wide hand grip really gives us a check-in. It's also a change of base from the kettlebell. So now we have to find if we really open that hip or not. So I could pull them together closer. There it is. Okay. So so in assessing this, I can feel that when under load, my left shoulder, surprisingly, which is normally the one I don't feel rowing, under load, it pulls right into a position that is advantageous to my pull, but my right shoulder, which is normally my good one, with this snatch grip, it gets back, but it doesn't get all the way back there. So I can squeeze it a little more, and that's actually telling me that I've got a mind muscle leakage in my lats and my posterior serratus here, because I'm not getting that full thoracic extension in order to turn. So we're going to lock our scaps in and our lats. Shoulder position needs to be good. And then we're going to eccentrically return it. Don't let the scaps loose. And when you go through your movements, you should feel the difference. Good. I'm going to breathe for a second. So what that one just told me, now I know, in a side note, so I'm about to switch to a narrow grip on this light bar. And my focus next is going to be grabbing the ground with my feet. This right foot has no problem. Again, this right leg doesn't have many problems now. It's the one that I can pistol squat on with no problem. This left leg, I still can't really seem to get up all the way on step-ups. I can't seem to push through all the way on my deadlift. I can't seem to reverse lunge with the same stability. This pistol squat is shaky, and I definitely rely on a squat shoe for this leg. So it's coming along as we do our mobility. First we have to find and identify the problems, because the sneaky part about our bodies is we can fucking shove weakness into all these little fucking pockets and then compensate for them, and they won't go noticed for years. You know, it's like a Michael Phelps winning the Olympics on fucking Subway. But now, like, if he looks at a carbohydrate, he's so insulin resistant that his body can't compensate that same way. He blows up like a fucking marshmallow, right? Because it's like, your body can't do that anymore. C.T. Fletcher set his fucking bench press record. His first one, he was eating like, what did he say? What did he fucking say? It was something obscene. Some, like, 5-digit fucking caloric intake from McDonald's. He was just like slamming. He said he was buying $50 bags at breakfast. And just like, it blew my, anyways. And then, he's got fucking cardiac issues later in life. I'm not, it's just a case study. I'm just pointing them out as case studies. Because the human body the machine is so fucking, because at the same time, he still fucking achieved all that shit while doing that shit back then, right? That's what I'm trying to illustrate. Because the human machine is just so incredible. We can do things in spite of other things. We're just like adapt and overcome. But long-term thinking tells us that we need to be working on the little things while they're little things, so that they don't become big things later. So, anyways, I'm going to switch to this narrow grip, and I'm going to focus on grabbing the ground with my feet, because I'm noticing here that my left big toe has no problem, but the rest of my toes just force the foot to rotate as a consequence. My external torque, as I transition about bar past knees, my external torque, my knees turning out and firing these abductors, the ones that abduct the knee away from the other knee. In order to turn those on and get fucking benefit from those during your deadlift, during your hang clean, during your power lifts, is to know how to fucking grab the ground with your feet and create a reverse torsion at the ankle and the fucking anterior tib, tib anterior, and your fucking fib posterior. Because your little tib fibia are these cool little bones that come up like this, and then they kind of rotate, and they can create this. They're like the forearm bones, right? It's two bones that create a spiral bone that can rotate like this, right? So in using that rotation, just like we would use that rotation on a skin the cat for our shoulder girdle, we can use that torsion and that rotation in our feet for our deadlift. And we can turn the fucking knees away. Knees want to go away. I'm over-exaggerating it here so that you can see it, because I don't have a high level of proficiency editing this shit, or I'd have some cool stick man and fucking arrows to draw it for y'all. But this is where my strength lies. Punny. So anyways, so as we're coming up, as we get back here, our knees want to turn outward. That's going to turn our ass on. Whoop, whoop. All of a sudden, this bad boy supports our entire pelvis. That rotates our pelvis through. Our pelvis rotating through sends signal to the spine, at the lumbar spine, that says, hey, pelvis is in a good position. Upper body can fucking do whatever it needs to do. Right? So anyways, so my next movement hygiene is for the torsion. You can grip the shit out of the bar and pull it apart. There's fucking hardly any weight on this bar. So, you kind of want that tension in the shoulders just to maintain your good shoulder position, because we're focusing on our legs. Turn it out. Good. Unlock it. Turn it in. You see how that unlocks the hips? Lets me go back down. Here, lock it. Rotate them out. Comes up, pulls through. I even got a wrist adjustment on that one. Unlock it. Grabbing. Lock it. Locked, unlocked. Locked, unlocked. It reverses. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to my third movement practice of the day. So as you can see, it's a deadlift, but now we're going to put it all together. Now I'm going to use the kettlebell warm-up that I did to make sure that core, everything is tucking. I'm going to use my light bar deadlift, snatch grip, and narrow grip feet focus to both check in today and see. I got 185 on the bar, which that's like 15 or 20% of what my current 1RM is. Some shit. It's light. It's really light. It's light enough. You want enough tension on the bar that you activate the musculature, right? We're not just doing this with a garbage bag. But you don't want so much weight on the bar that fatigue is setting in the deeper you get into this workout, because the quality of the movement is the focus of the day. The weight on the bar day is another day. So anyways, we're going to put it all together. Regular deadlift, lightweight, triples. Triples for movement quality. I don't know if you could tell there, But we also had enough tension, we had enough of a load loaded that I was also able to work on my bracing. Finally, at the end, we're always taking it 5 and 10% further than we were the last movement pattern, the last training day. You know, we always want to move the needle in little 5 and 10% increments. And then after the course of a month or a year, we start to see how much those little increments have built up, how much real progress they have really created. So I hope this helps today, guys. Stay motivated, stay quarantined, stay safe. Have a great day. Peace.